At Daytona Beach International, a fiery landing as a small jet slides across the airfield, shooting out flames and smoke. Authorities say when the twin-engine private Cessna finally stopped, the two on board walked out without injuries. But the runway was shut down for a full inspection, delaying flights until it could be deemed safe for other planes. This month, several hard landings have been caught on camera, like this terrifying moment as a Boeing 737 came down too hard in Russia. Fortunately, there were no serious injuries. And this past weekend, a seat-clinching landing in London as stormy weather and strong winds had the plane teetering in the air.
Easy.
Incredibly, those pilots never lost control, landing safely. While tonight in Florida, investigators looking into why this smaller private jet touched down with landing gear that either malfunctioned or wasn't deployed.
It happened Monday night, a sharp blue laser lighting up the cockpit of a CHP plane near Napa County Airport.
I'm still having residual effects with my left eye. I can feel that something has happened.
Pilot Jan Sears was on autopilot and quickly put on his protective eyeglasses, then directed ground officers to the suspect, who was soon taken into custody at gunpoint.
This is my first encounter with a blue spectrum laser. It's the worst kind that you can get involved with.
Laser attacks on police, military, civilian, and commercial aircraft have been a problem for years. The risk, pilots could be blinded mid-flight, even suffer permanent eye damage.
He's hitting us with the laser right now.
In January, a sheriff's helicopter was lit up as an investigator reports that commercial planes were being targeted at Sarasota Bradenton Airport. That suspect also arrested.
London's Heathrow is the busiest airport in Europe, but from today has another status when it comes to tackling climate change. Now carbon neutral, it hopes the airport infrastructure won't be producing any carbon emissions at all by the mid-2030s. Matt Gorman, Heathrow's Director of Sustainability, says the airport is the first in the world to make such a pledge.
The enemy at the end of the day is not aviation, it's carbon. Our collective challenge, this isn't just aviation, it's to get carbon out of the economy as quickly as possible, and we have to play our role in getting there.
Sure, but still, doesn't it feel awkward that you're making these kind of laudable emission statements, but actually you're servicing such a sort of carbon-intensive industry?
Not at all. I think, personally, I believe that aviation brings huge benefits economically, socially and culturally.
The terrifying images from an interstate today. Two highways shut down for a time in Indianapolis. Look at this, a tanker truck carrying jet fuel exploding after overturning. This was on a ramp between I-465 and I-70 with 4,000 gallons of jet fuel on board. Witnesses say the driver got out but was on fire. They pulled him away in flames.
Oh!
Tonight, the massive explosion and fireball engulfing an Indianapolis highway overpass. A tanker truck carrying 4,000 gallons of jet fuel overturning on a ramp, splitting open, that jet fuel igniting. The inferno, some 500 feet wide, spreading to both sides of this bridge. This traffic cam capturing the fire spreading down the embankment. The truck driver making it out of the vehicle, but he was caught in the flames.
An eruption of new virus cases in South Korea, Iran, and Chinese hospitals and prisons rekindled concerns Friday about the spread of a deadly disease that has killed more than 2,200 people. China has pointed to official numbers showing a drop in new cases this week as evidence that its drastic containment measures are working. But fresh cases emerged at 2 Beijing hospitals and more than 500 others were reported in prisons across the country. Countries have banned travelers from China and airlines have suspended flights to and from the country. But clusters and outbreaks continue to emerge and 11 people have now died outside mainland China. Dozens of people clashed with police Thursday outside a hospital in central Ukraine over government plans to quarantine evacuees from coronavirus hit China in the facility. 6 buses with the evacuees arrived in the medical center, accompanied by law enforcement officers. A video published by Ukrainian media showed. The policeman had to disperse the protesters to unblock a road that leads to the hospital and to create a cordon for the vehicles. The demonstrators lit several bonfires and broke at least 3 bus windows, while some of the evacuees waved Ukrainian flags and some hid their faces behind the curtains.
Moving on to our next story now, voting has begun in what could be Iran's most tumultuous and politically significant parliamentary election. Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was one of the first people to cast their votes. The country's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has called participation in polls a religious duty. As people now step out to vote, this election could be a turning point for the country.
A romantic date night between 2 newlywed cops caught on surveillance video. But then trouble at the register where they see a man in a mask threatening the cashier with a gun.
I saw her hands go up like this. I'm like, is he doing what I think he's doing?
Detective Chase McGowan and his patrol officer wife Nicole, who were off duty, quietly making a plan.
He said, call 911. And I looked at it for a second and I see myself moving the phone. I'm like, no. I'm gonna help.
The 2 pulling their weapons and quickly giving chase, the suspect taking off, then caught. Police say he had a stolen gun and is now facing charges of robbery and possession of a firearm by a felon, his attorney not immediately available for comment.
Instincts took over.
The McCowans say they've only been married for 6 months, choosing the restaurant Raising Cane's for their date because it's special to them.
Right after we got married, that's where we ate dinner.
A Brazilian senator was shot and injured Wednesday after intervening in a strike by military police who were asking for better salaries. But Senator Cid Gomez's idea of getting involved was a little more than violent, and running a crowd of protesters over in a bulldozer was met with some payback. Take a look at this video of Senator Gomez in a bulldozer attempting to run over the crowd of protesters. Gunshots were heard and the mechanical digger's window was smashed. It didn't take long for military police to retaliate, shooting Gomez with rubber bullets. You can see the blood coming through his shirt, but according to Gomez's brother, no vital organs were hit. In the video, you can see him being led into a car taken to the hospital. The politician announced he was in fact hospitalized without any life-threatening injuries.
Turkey, as part of the Idlib ceasefire agreement, had 3 main responsibilities. 1, separate the jihadists and the terrorists from the moderate opposition. 2, get them to stop shooting, adhere to the ceasefire. 3, facilitate the opening of an important highway. Turkey failed with number 1, bungled number 2, didn't even bother with the 3rd. There's only so long you can tolerate being shot at and shelled by Al-Qaeda, the dominant Islamist faction in Idlib. The Syrian military went into action. It retook near enough a third of Idlib because they said they had no choice. Turkey wouldn't or couldn't hold up its end of the bargain.